nice to be here. I like to walk around and talk. I want this to be kind of casual. I want to get to know you. I want to talk about your needs, kind of a therapy session for social media. And I hope everybody has their dancing shoes on because we're going to make a TikTok later. No, I'm just kidding. It's terrifying. We're not doing that. I put in front of you pieces of this presentation today. They're kind of the meat and potatoes of what we're going to talk about. I didn't put the whole thing in there because a lot of it's just kind of boring, actually. So I gave you what you needed so you can write down while we're walking through it. But I just want to kind of get a feel for the room. How many of you are in charge of the social media at your organization right now? Okay. And in one way or another, you probably at some point have been asked to do something in the area of social media. And it's terrifying some days. So today I want to really kind of go through why we do what we do and why it's important to know where to do it. One of the first things we have to ask ourselves is, what is your goal? Are you trying to sell a product? Are you trying to build a brand? Are you providing a service, a coaching, a teaching? That would be the first thing that you need to really understand is what it is that you're trying to tell people that you do. And then in turn, you need to figure out what platform best fits your organization. So as you can see, there are plenty of places that we can be online. I recommend going hard on about 2 of them. If you can't do them well, don't do it at all because it's going to be frustrating and a waste of your time and energy and resources. So I typically say to pick 2 that are going to be really high performers for you and just go for it. I have this little chart over here. We talk about the lifespan of social media. So as you can see, and this may be helpful in trying to decide what platform you should be on. So for Twitter, the lifespan of a Twitter post is about 15 minutes. Outside of that, if it's not on the news feed, people are probably not going to see it unless they have you saved. TikTok will be up for about 30 minutes, and you have to post very frequently on there and dance and be funny and creative, and not a lot of people have that, and that's okay. Facebook will be up to 6 hours. It could remain on somebody's feed in terms of them swiping and seeing it. LinkedIn, 24 hours. Instagram, 48 hours. YouTube, 20 plus days. Google loves YouTube. We'll talk about that more later. Pinterest, up to 4 months. And then blog posts, up to a year or more. People will come back and look at those. So the things that you should also think about when choosing your platform that you want to be on or platforms is searchability and longevity. So Google right now really loves Pinterest and YouTube. And it loves Pinterest because Pinterest is an imagery index of products. And so when you do an image search or a search on Google, it's going to automatically index pictures that you've loaded on Pinterest. So if you have a very high imagery product, something that can be taken, lots of pictures of it, and you have a good portfolio of pictures, Pinterest would be a really great place for you to spend some time. And then YouTube, if you're got somebody you can appoint to make those videos, because I know that can be really scary. YouTube is also a really great place for Google to pick up. So if somebody's searching how to make spaghetti or how do I put this Lego piece together, YouTube is always gonna rank at the top because it's the most current, fresh content. How much time do you have to devote to your social media platforms? So as I was saying, some take more time than others, and we'll get into this later. So you really kind of need to gauge how much time you have on hand to devote. And then do you have a designated person managing your accounts? And this makes a huge difference in what platforms you do. Because as you all know, some require lots of dedication, on-site work, constant picture taking, that kind of thing. So you want to make sure that you're really picking what works best for you. All right. So at Treo Marketing, which is my marketing firm, I'm a partner there with Ali Kistner and Carol Sowers. And our office is in the Freeland Photography Building, so we're downtown Lee Summit, if anybody ever needs to come ask us any questions. We like to divide all of our clients into pillars of service or pillars of content. So you'll have these 4 main pillars that you'll use when you're trying to think, okay, what do I post today? Everybody's posting. I have no idea what to post. Does it have to be something funny? No, not necessarily. Does it have to be outrageously creative? Not all the time. So we give, and in your packet, you'll see I put together kind of a calendar for you. We give everybody these pillars. So we'll meet with them and say, okay, what are your service offerings? What are your unique differentiators? Let's talk about your company culture, and then any industry news or tips and tricks. So your service offerings, on the days that you'll post about that, are things what you want to be known for, what it is that you do, what are you really good at. The differentiators is what differs you from somebody else in town. So you're taking a day of the week and posting about what makes you different. Then company culture, these are posts like somebody had a 50th anniversary for work history, or a 1 year, or they've won an award, those types of things that you want to share, kind of the behind the scenes things of your workplace. So the system is in place, and the things that make you function as an organization. And then industry news and tips and tricks, these things are what I call indicators that show that you are a pro at what you do. So if you're able to push content or even share content from somebody else, you don't even have to be original, you can just share it. It shows that you are positioning yourself as knowledgeable in your field, and you're a source for people to come to if they have a question about that specific content. So these are super important. This is when you're sitting around, you have no idea what to post, you can look at these 4 things and say, okay, I could post about one of these 4 things. And this is a really good start for you. Okay, so now we'll talk about, I feel like we're going really fast. We're only 17 minutes in. Anybody have any questions? Not yet? Okay. Well, we'll open it up for questions, and I would love to go through and ask you what your pain points are, and we can work through that here and just kind of focus on individual companies if you want to. So organic content versus evergreen content. So organic is when you're at a ribbon cutting and your staff is there, or you're here today and you're taking a picture. Oh, we're here, we're checking in live. Those are things that are kind of just happening freely and organically. Evergreen content is content that can be used at any point in time in the month or in the year. So you're going out and you're taking kind of, I hate to call it stock because stock photo is so, shunned upon, but you're taking kind of stock pictures and video of your organization. So you're going out and you're scheduling a photo shoot, you're scheduling a videographer, or yourself, your cell phone works fine. And you're intentional about gathering content that you know will last for months. And you'll do it all in one setting, and then you'll take all that and chop it up into a million pieces and use it across all of your social media platforms. So you have months of content to push out. So this is what we mean by evergreen. Organic is not a sales pitch. It's something that's warm and can feel not salesy, I guess, is what that's all about. And then the evergreen content could be used for job postings or career development, sales, that kind of thing will be what the evergreen content's for. So then we have 4 different types of posts that you could do. And this is in that grid that I showed you. So we'll combine the 4 pillars that we talked about. So you can have those 4 pillars of service that you want to focus on. And then you can interchange these 4 types of posts. So they'll be conversational, which is driving audience engagement, which we love. We want people to respond and interact with us. It's a great point for customer service. To be able to answer people's questions. You never want to ignore them. Even if they have a nasty comment or a nasty question, you'll still say, thank you so much for this feedback. We would love to talk with you further about this. And you really just want to delete it and hide it. And honestly, hiding things is really kind of a no-no. We don't want to be hiding things. But take this conversational approach as a way that you can directly communicate with your potential consumer and your potential customers or current customers. Then there's video, which is pre-recorded or live. Photos, like I said, that can be staged, or you're taking them at those events that you're at. And then organic, again, that's promoting a service, but you're really sharing it in kind of a heartfelt way about your values and things that are happening kind of behind the scenes. A lot of these are the how-to videos, or like you'll see people doing woodworking or making a product. That's what the makers will do with that organic content, showing you kind of how it's made. All right, any questions so far? Okay, so then producing the content. This is kind of my hit list of when we go out and actually do this for our clients. We have what we call a Photoshoot list, and we just put down everything. Make sure that you're getting product images, video, facility images, employee candid pictures, employee testimonials. And this is kind of one of those days where, and it can be a half day, it can be a couple hours, it doesn't have to be a full day, but we do large organizations, and we'll say block the whole day, and you send out an email from your HR director and say, everybody better have your Sunday best on. You better look good, shine those shoes, wear your company shirt, make sure your hair is brushed, brush your teeth, you know. We want you to look your best because we're gonna use this for a year and you better stay with us. And obviously people quit and you have to remove people, but the intent is that everyone is a part of it. You want everybody to be a part of these photo shoot days, the videos and the pictures. So you get everybody nice and shiny, make sure your trucks are clean, make sure people's desks are cleaned of Pepsi cans, or I had one a couple weeks ago, they had cigarettes on the desk. I'm like, well, we're probably gonna move that out of the picture. And so just making sure that things look super professional and you would want them to be reused over and over again. Also remember, and this isn't up here, but if it's seasonal, if you're taking pictures around Christmas time, make sure that the decorations, or if it's Halloween or something, make sure that you're in a very neutral state in your office so that you're not seeing lights or pumpkins in the background, that somebody would know that you've used that picture over and over again. You'll take the pictures both horizontal and vertical. And I'll tell you why, and a lot of you probably know this, but if you go out and you do your whole photo shoot in horizontal, you go to post to Instagram on Instagram Reels, it's gonna take that horizontal video and pare it down to a rectangle vertical, and you'll see like half of the person's head. And then you'll spend time editing that video, and then you have to re-upload it and keep loading it until it fits perfectly. So just cut to the chase, take that same picture, both horizontal and vertical, so you can use it across Facebook and Instagram, and if you want to, a TikTok. Typically I will shoot about 15 to 30 second in video because most platforms aren't really letting you push anything longer unless you do a 3-minute or longer on YouTube. People, their attention span is about 15 seconds these days. So if they can't get to the point of it within a quick look and a swipe, you've lost them anyway. So I will shoot within 15 to 30 seconds, and that keeps me from having to go back in post-production and edit everything down. And I never shoot in a really long, I'll do clips of multiple different things. I won't just keep the camera running because then I still have to go through and edit and look through all that footage. So make sure you're doing it both horizontal and vertical, and they're 15 to 30 second video clips. We've already talked about everybody being dressed appropriately, having your equipment and office space cleaned. And then after you have that media library built, you can use that evergreen content, and it's your content, not a stock photo you purchased online, but it's something that looks beautiful. You can use it on your website, on your blog posts, all over social media for up to 2 to 3 months, depending on if people quit or if something changes about your organization. So that's kind of our secret. When we come on to the scene, that's one of the first things we do is set up video and pictures so that we can have all of that to work with. Because surprisingly, a lot of companies don't have a good media library. We'll say, okay, send us all the pictures you have. And it's like 2 people from 1980 with their hair still feathered back. I'm like, yeah, but we're gonna need like some new stuff. And nobody's taking it. Because when you're running a business, the last thing you have time for is yourself and your own company and taking those pictures. So it's just a time to pause and say, we're going to do this. This is the day, we're putting it on our calendar, we're gonna get it over with. All right, so when we talk about going viral, don't put so much pressure on yourself. Not every post has to be viral, and honestly, it's very rare for somebody to actually go viral. But if you wanted to get more attraction to your post, or you wanted more people to engage with it, these headlines are the top, oh, the numbers didn't translate. Well, they're all number 1 today. It's supposed to be top 5 or 6, yeah, 5. Top 5 headlines that grab people's attention. And somewhere in the psychology world, somebody said, this is what people like to see, and this is what they click on the most. So you can use these in your company. Blank, easy steps to blank. So let's say you're a tire repair shop. 2 easy steps to changing your tire at home. Not that you would want them to change it at home, but you just fill in the blank on all of these. So here's everything you need to know about flossing your teeth. And then you would either attach this to a blog post, or you would have a quick 15-second video, or go ahead and write it out in the content. But again, people only read for about 5 to 10 seconds, and if it's not exciting to them, they're gonna kind of move on. Top things your blank doesn't tell you. So we've seen this 100 times before. Especially with doctors on TikTok. They're all answering all those questions you never thought you could ask, but they're there and people love it. Secrets to fix blank, and then this simple hack will change the way you blank. And yes, it's clickbait, that's okay. It's going to drive traffic to your page and get people to want to engage, and they're going to click it because they want to know. They want to know the answers to it. So a lot of these can click out to your website, to a blog, or to an additional, like a YouTube, or a picture below, whatever you want to do with it, whatever you have time for. All right, so let's pull out this puppy real quick. This is confusing, but we're going to go through it. This is a grid that we build for all of our clients, and typically we'll do these once a month. We always work 1 month prior. So we will meet with them 1 month prior and say, okay, let's talk about what we're doing this month. And of course, blank stares and I don't know, nothing's really happening. Okay, cool, well, we've got this, we can use this. So we recommend 4 posts a week, and this is specifically for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And obviously you can post more, but we know we are not Superman. We can't do it all. And if you're running a business, you don't have time to be posting every 10 minutes. And if you do, awesome, more power to you. But at minimum, if you want to stay part of the conversation and be present so that people can see you on the feed, we say at least 4 times a week. And we used a program called Hootsuite, and this is, I put this on the back page of your packet, but it's a program called Hootsuite where you can connect all of your social media accounts to one location, and you plug in your pre-programmed Evergreen content, and it just pushes it out for you. So it's super easy. You do it once, and then you move on. So what we have here is at the bottom, we've got those 4 pillars of content that we talked about, and I've color-coded them for you. So you have service offering, company culture, unique differentiators, and insider tips and tricks. So throughout the week, you will rotate each of those pillars, the conversation starters, and then you'll use the creative medium of video, picture, conversational, or organic, and all of those are interchangeable. I'm not a mathematician. I didn't figure out how many possible scenarios there are, but we did these. So let's say for week 1, you're gonna do 15 to 30 second video showing your product or service. This is great because maybe you don't even need to be in it. Say you sell cars. You're just gonna take a picture of a beautiful new Jeep Wrangler, whatever it is. And at the top in your content, you'll say something like, Memorial Day sale, come on down. So this is how quick that can be. And again, you'll use that Evergreen content, so you don't have to go out and shoot the video. It's already there in your media library. So you'll do that. Then the next day, you'll schedule a picture showing your product or service and why it's different from your competitors. And then on the third day, you'll use a viral title like we just talked about, those catchy titles that everybody likes to click on. About tips and tricks. And then for your organic page, this could be a video showing an inside view of your company. So let's say your walls are getting painted or something at your office and you're really excited about it. This would be a great day to post something about that. So this is just kind of for you all a template, and it really is a trigger for you to be able to see what kind of creative medium you can use with what kind of topic you can talk about. When you've got those days where you're like, I just don't know what to say. All right. So the aching question that we get all the time, should I be on TikTok? Should I be on Twitter? And I always tell everybody, how much time do you have? Because TikTok is time consuming as well as Twitter. It's worth it if you're willing to put the time in, and you know, there's billions of people now on TikTok. It's just exploded. Yes, it takes a lot of energy and it does take time, and it's not as easy as just posting a dance. You've got to put it together, you have to edit it. And some of the editing that they're doing on these platforms is just expert level. I'm super impressed by it. Some of them are changing their clothes in a blink of an eye, and they're spending hours on their content. So we'll talk about this for a second. Twitter is 280 characters. A lot of you know Twitter well, but it really serves as an introduction. It's a news feed, and it's a great place to hop off and read a news article or a blog about your industry or your specific organization. So if you do have time to blog, Twitter is a good place to be able to share that content. You can use the hashtags with it that'll help drive people searching for that specific content. So I recommend if you do Twitter, you should have also either a news page or a blog page on your website. and be able to kind of keep up with that. So when I say time consuming, that's somebody writing it, somebody reviewing it, somebody posting it. So there's a lot there. It's also a great place for you to manage your customer service. So a lot of people will go to Twitter to complain or to give a positive about your organization. So let's say you create an account, you're not necessarily active, but it's good to monitor it, because if somebody's talking about you, at least you have the opportunity to respond to them. So at a basic level, it would be good to have a Twitter account just so you can claim your username so nobody else has it, they're not faking you. But then you also have an opportunity to respond to people if something comes up. And then TikTok is 45 seconds of thrills. And it's really America's Funniest Home Videos on a social media platform. It's silly, it's creative, but lately people have found it as a platform for all types of conversations that have come out. And our recommendation for Twitter is a dedicated staff person for posting and engaging several times throughout the day, a minimum once per hour. So you kind of need to be in there all the time looking through it, making sure that you're keeping updated on everything that's coming through. And then our recommendation for TikTok is that it's dedicated and creative person posting at least twice a day or more and engaging with the comments that come through. So TikTok is a very transparent platform where people expect to be followed up with after you leave a comment. They want you to engage with them because they are falling in love with your content and they're coming back for more. And it's feeding this animal. So if your favorite TikToker hasn't posted within the hour, you're refreshing that page. Have they posted a new one yet? And some of them do daily, some of them do multiple times a day. But it is really, you could find yourself on there for 2 or 3 hours and time just goes because of the way it's formatted. And the content is given to you in such a way that it fits your algorithm. So once you start watching videos that you like, it'll start giving you more videos that you like. And then all of a sudden it's 2 a.m. and you haven't slept and you got to get up for work the next day. I am not speaking from Wes. Yeah, I'm assuming. I actually had to delete my TikTok back in December because it was consuming my evenings. I couldn't, and I just now recently got back on because I missed them. I wanted to see what they're doing again. I'll probably delete it again. It's just a love-hate relationship. But it's addictive. You can consume a ton of content. And if you have time for it, it is a great platform to at least be on, secure your username, just like with Twitter, so that nobody else can get it. And if you want to post a couple times, the benefit to having it, even if you don't post a lot, is that you can at least tag it from your other social media platforms or link it on your website so that people can go to it if they choose to. So maybe you're not necessarily trying to have this huge viral following, but you want to look like you're hip or you're part of it. You're keeping up on the times, you know. So go ahead and just have it, secure your username, link it to your website if possible. Okay. I think that might be the end of it. Oh, we got a little bit more. Let's see, how are we doing? All right. So this page I've also put it in here for you. Does anybody have any questions about that last slide? Nobody, not a single person. Okay. These are little social media hacks that I love to use, and especially with my products. I create baby products, and my babies are not babies anymore, so I have no babies to take pictures with. So when we talk about that evergreen content, I've been using my 3-year-old for the last 3 years on some of these posts that I do, which is fine. I mean, she's cute, it works. However, sometimes I just need some fresh content. And to do that, I reach out to collaborators. A lot of these happen on Instagram, they can happen on TikTok and Facebook, LinkedIn very rarely. However, when you use them, you have the power of their audience. So you can take what they have already built and present your content through their channel. So I'll have a lot of influencers say, I'll do it just for a trade, just for a product trade, which is awesome because I can give them a product, ship it to them. They'll do a giveaway on their page. It costs me really just the price of my product and shipping. And then others want to be paid for that partnership, for that collaboration. It can range anywhere from $50 to $10,000. It just depends on the size of their audience. So it's very, you know, if you're looking to make some extra money, becoming an influencer, it's why it's so popular, why so many people want to be an influencer, because you can charge, once your audience gets huge, you can charge whatever you want for a space on your page. So it's a very powerful tool. So they'll take your content, say you're working with somebody local who's a local influencer, and you say, I want to offer you this for free if you'll post about it on your page, make it look organic, not like an ad. They'll say, sure, whatever, and you schedule the date. They run it, you kind of watch it, monitor it, and then if anybody follows up on their page, you can respond back as yourself, or add a link or to purchase, that kind of thing. Hopefully they will have done that for you, but a lot of times they forget, and then you have to follow up on it. So I love collaborating with influencers because it's easy, and it's more, if your audience isn't large yet, or you don't have those people, they've got it, and you can just partner with them. Canva.com. So this is a cloud-based graphic design platform where you can make all this beautiful social-friendly content. So they will have templates for Instagram, for Facebook, for LinkedIn, essentially all the social media platforms, they have templates. You can go in and change the colors, you can change the logos and just export it as whatever file type you want. They've got royalty-free imagery, like icons and graphics, the elements, that kind of thing. But then they also have a paid level where you could pay to use that. So if you're interested in making your Instagram feed look super everybody's got the same color and it's all beautiful and it's laid out really pretty, Canva's a really great place to do that because you can have your brand built in to every single post, and it's just a quick, easy thing. I also like Vengage.com. So anytime I'm doing infographics for anybody, they have templates for infographics. You just pop in your numbers and it's super easy. This works really well for banking and healthcare and municipalities, tourism, that kind of thing, because a lot of times they'll want you to give number of visitors, that kind of thing. So Vengage has some of those icons already built out for you, and you can just go in and manipulate it, save it, share it. And again, that's cloud-based. We talked about Hootsuite and that being a platform for scheduling. If you choose to just use Facebook and Instagram, you can use Facebook Business Portal to schedule all of your stuff because they're connected now. So if you haven't explored your Facebook Business Portal, I highly recommend it because you can do all of that there. You can book your ads, everything in that area. But if you want to do multiple different platforms like LinkedIn, Twitter, all of that, Hootsuite's a really great spot for that. And then music and hashtag trends. So just a quick example of that. On Instagram Reels, there is, you have the ability to use music now. This is kind of fairly new, but you have the ability to pick any type of music you want to play with your video. And I was noticing as I was posting things for my products that if I used a viral song, a song that was super popular, I was getting a ton of hits on these measly videos of my dog. I created an Instagram account for my dog. And we got her at Christmas. I'm like, yeah, that'll be fun. I had no followers, literally like 3 followers, my mom and my sister, And I posted this video. I just shot her running in the snow in the backyard in slow motion and put a really cool song with it. And like within the hour, had 3,000 to 4,000 people view it, like it. I just was shocked by it because I just thought, okay, that was just me in my backyard. Who cares about that? It was the song. So 2 nights ago, I decided to try with one of my baby products. I took my 3-year-old, and who was a baby at the time. I used her video, same video I've been using, same video that only gets 1 click every time I post it. I put a viral song with it, and not only did I get thousands of hits, I got multiple sales on Amazon after I posted it. So, just if you need a quick hit and some product development, or not development, but product promotion, pick songs that are viral and hashtags that are viral because it is hot right now on the Instagram Reels. So just if you have a product or service that you're trying to sell, that is a tip that I highly recommend. All right, I think there's our office. We're located on Douglas at 320 in the Freeland Photography Building. Our office is literally right inside that window there. So if you ever want to peek in, we're back in there. We're very rarely there because we're usually out with our clients, but that's where we're located. And so I would love to, just pick my brain. We have about, 20 more minutes? Yeah. So pick my brain, ask me questions. Anything, anyone. Yeah.
Can you talk about LinkedIn? Is it still
Very. Yeah, so we have multiple large companies that we work with, and we recommend posting on LinkedIn. We do a lot of recruitment for jobs, but just kind of business to business networking. We find that just being in the conversation makes a difference. People just reminds them that you're there. So again, you're using that evergreen content, use your grid. It may not necessarily be earth-shattering news that you're posting, but it's coming up on their feed and they're gonna remember that you're there. Oh yeah, I need this service now. So not everybody's gonna need your service every day of the week, but somebody somewhere will, and they'll see that. And that's why it's important to kind of be at least present in those areas. But yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
So we have several agents on our team, and we do like 3-4 blog posts, tips and tricks and so forth. And what is the rule of thumb now for, we've got Ask Kathy posts, but we also have about 8 agents. And what's the rule of thumb between personal and business on a Facebook page?
It's so blurred. It's very blurred. I don't think there are, I hate to say there are rules, because if you have a bigger following on your personal and you know that people are gonna love that content, I think it comes down to your goals, asking what it is and knowing your target market. So if you have a huge number of followers on your personal Facebook page, it makes sense to share what you're doing for your business on your personal, because it's you. I mean, you're selling, especially as an agent.
But if all you do is business, doesn't it become white noise on your personal page?
Right, correct, yeah. So you would want a good spread of content. You would want to be able to post personal stuff, you know, that organic content. You're going on vacation, that kind of thing. But, you know, it doesn't hurt to every now and again share, because it's you. It's what you're doing for a living. And most likely, you know, the old marketing saying, people buy from those they know, like, and trust. And so if they know, like, and trust you, they're going to buy from you. And especially in real estate, they're going to build those businesses, and banking too. They're building relationships with you as a person. And so a lot of times if you start a Facebook page for your business, you'll go and invite all your personal friends. Well, you know, you just want to make sure it's a really good mix in between the two so that you aren't annoying people. But yeah, I blur the lines all the time, and I have people often say, oh yeah, I forgot you did that, because I forget. I forget to post because I'm posting for everybody else. But I think it's important for your friends to know you're still there and to know what you're doing. Yeah.
So on Facebook, there's so many different ways you can put a video. I mean, now you have Facebook Reels, and you have Story, or you can just post it on your page. I mean, what do you suggest is the best?
Stories is going to be high eyeballs, is what I like to say. You're going to get the most eyeballs with stories right now, because people are being trained slowly to really enjoy those quick videos, especially with TikTok. But Instagram has done a hard push on videos. They've actually talked earlier this week about pushing their platform to more just video content, to be more like TikTok. So I would say that those reels are going to be where people go first, because their eye is drawn to that, and they know it's going to be a quick hit, and it's not going to be something they have to read through. They don't even have to look at comments. It's just oh, that's entertaining. No, it's not. Oh, that's cool. That, you know, it's a quick pass by. So that's where, if you're going to do video, I would focus on the reels. Now, I will say that if you're doing it through a business page, sometimes they get suppressed. So you'll want to make sure that in some way you're kind of sharing it also on your feed, your news feed of your business page, just in case you, like, if you notice only 2 or 3 people have looked at it, I would go ahead and reshare it on your actual feed, your news feed. Anybody else? No? Who's up for some dancing now? It's terrifying, isn't it? Yeah, go ahead.
So a lot of this is pertaining to just more organic content that's being pushed out. Is there anything that you've heard from like Facebook or any of the platforms in the way of like sponsored or boosted content? I mean, are platforms kind of moving away from that?
Facebook's not, because they love the advertising dollars. I will say that, you know, there's lots of sponsored content on Instagram, but it's hidden better. So people are doing a better job of hiding that it's an ad. They're using, the requirements for Instagram is that you at least tag somewhere that it's an ad. So what they're doing is using hashtag ad or hashtag sponsored post. Whereas on Facebook, you know that it's an ad, because it'll say big at the top, sponsored ad. And typically the user will swipe past that because they know it's a paid ad. So I would say that there's more kind of this organic advertising happening on Instagram and TikTok because it's hidden and people don't know it's an ad until somebody starts saying like, oh, and you should try this, because you can tell immediately when they start pulling you in for a product sell. But yeah, I mean, people are still doing boosted content. It works. I use it for my products. We use it for our clients. It does work. You just have to know, really drill down on your target audience when you're picking how to spend your money. Make sure you're doing the right zip code. Instead of doing a huge blanketed thing to everybody in the United States, make sure you stay as niche as possible and know specific categories that they're going to stay in. But yeah, it's still working. Mm-hmm.
How do you stay like within your zone when you're regular? Like, how does that make sense? How do you stay in your area, like on things like TikTok and like on your and Twitter on just your post?
Do you mean?
Because like I feel like TikTok reaches wider, faster.
Yeah.
Is there a way to keep it within your area?
So you would want to start using keywords in your posts, in your post content, or hashtags that are like Kansas City, Lee Summit. It'll start aggregating that in their feed. People will start seeing content from, and it's hard. It's hard because there's just so many people on there now. It's really kind of, that's why I suggest linking it through your other social media platforms so that people who love you here are gonna go over there and follow you. So then it'll start changing their algorithm. But Twitter, the same thing. It's really all about using hashtags and following people that are from this area. It's, in a sense, called niche neighborhood, where you'll start, we do it a lot on Facebook, where we'll follow, repost, share, or comment on other organizations that are in your niche neighborhood, either regionally in terms of zip code or topically in terms of category of services. So you can kind of do the same with Twitter and TikTok, where you're networking, you're sharing, liking, posting things in that same area, and it'll start to kind of push that algorithm that way.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
If a company is trying to decide whether to do social media in-house or outsource it, what are kind of the tipping points to go either way?
When you've lost your mind and you can't do it anymore on your own. I would say when you're ready to release it on your own, because social media is so private and so personal, because you're really kind of opening up everything and showing people what you're doing. So when you feel comfortable releasing that energy and kind of releasing those responsibilities, I would say it's time to bring somebody else in to let them manage it for you, because you are really giving away the reins and saying, all right, these are the kind of the parameters that we want to stay in. These are the pictures that we know we like, we don't like. You give somebody else those restrictions and then you let them go and do it for you. There's ways to do that where you have approval of, like, we'll meet a month prior to, and we do everybody's content calendar prior to. They approve all of it, including the pictures, and then we schedule it and post it. We have some people that could care less if they ever see it. They know that we're gonna do a great job, and yep, doing great, guys. They never even look at it. And they'll even in our meetings say, oh, do we get to post about this? Yep, that was 2 months ago. We're already there. So it just depends on the person who's willing to let go, and if you're okay with somebody else running it for you who trusts them. You really have to trust them, because people can get psychotic and weird. And you have to also make sure that they understand the voice of your organization. So when you're replying back, it's a customer service opportunity. So if they're not replying in the voice that you would want, or they're rude to someone, that's a hit to your organization. So they have to understand the company culture and the voice that you're using on that platform. Yeah.
So kind of speaking to replies, is there kind of a timeline in which you would suggest that you make sure that you do reply to comments on social media?
Yeah. Typically as soon as you can. I know it's hard to stay on top of it, but within the hour would be good. Otherwise they're like, oh, she's ghosting me. And like, no, actually I was just doing my job. I can't get to it. If you have a viral post, you do a blanketed like, hey, everybody, thanks so much for your responses. I'm trying my best to. So as long as you're saying something and not nothing at all, that's what's important. So yeah, I think, and again, responding to everything, even if, I mean, obviously if they're posting something completely crass or disgusting, you can hide that. But generally, I like to respond to those because it shows your potential customers that you care about them. You care enough to say, hey, tell me what happened. Here's how we're going to resolve it. Or actually, you can take that as an opportunity to show your safety guidelines or things that you do that are right not necessarily trying to prove them wrong, because you don't want to get into an argument with anybody online, but taking the time to respond and share what your processes and procedures are. Other people that are looking at that are going to say, okay, they care. Yeah.
With as booming as a topic health insurance is, what should we do in order to drive the likes on LinkedIn? Like, should we post nonsense to build up a following and then start splashing in our industry and our business? Or should we just keep posting how we're saving people money?
Yeah, so what is your goal?
My goal is to reach business owners, to get them to allow me to sell them group health benefits.
Okay, so your bottom line is that you want to make a sale.
Exactly.
Okay, so with that, you need testimonials. You need customer testimonials of people saying how great you are, because it doesn't matter how many times you say how great you are. I don't care. You're selling me.
Exactly.
So I need somebody who you helped to tell me how great you are. So whether it's a video or a picture or somebody with their kids, whatever it might be, I need somebody else other than you to tell me that you're great.
Okay.
And that's what I would do.